So the next project that we're going to work on is called crochet, and I'm sure you've heard of crocheting before. We are doing traditional crocheting methods, but kind of with a twist. So let's go through this information first, and then we'll move on to what you're actually going to be making. Crochet is a process by which yarn or thread and a single hook of any size can be used to make fabric, lace garments, and toys. Crochet may also be used to make hats, bags, and jewelry. There is a ton of things that you can do with crochet. Crochet, as we say in English language, is derived from the French word crochet, which literally means hook. Like knitting, crochet stitches are made by pulling the yarn through an active loop. While knitting involves a row of open active loops or stitches, the process of crochet only uses one loop or stitch at a time. A variety of textures, patterns, and shapes can be created through varying tension, dropping and adding stitches, and wrapping the yarn around the hook during a stitch. There is no limit to the materials that can be used to crochet. Throughout history, people from all over the world used thread, wool, yarn, grass, rope, wire, silk, even dental floss, and hair have been used to crochet. Okay, so here are some examples of crocheting. I like this because it's up close and you can really get a sense of what crocheting looks like. There are lots of different types of stitches. We are only going to learn the most basic stitch today. So you can make blankets. These little squares that you probably are familiar with are called granny squares, and they're used, you create square after square after square and then kind of hook them together to create your design. You can make stuffed animals with crocheting, decorative items, hats, socks. These are little coasters, little mittens. I'm sure you've seen all over Pinterest and all over everywhere big chunky blankets that people knit or crochet on their arms. That is done, you can use crocheting techniques for that. Here's a crocheted pillow, a sweater. This is a close-up picture of what a crochet chain looks like, and that is your foundation stitch for crocheting, and that is how you're going to begin this project. I kind of feel like they look little hearts. Okay, the next piece of information that I want to go over with you is yarn bombing. Yarn bombing is kind of where this idea of mine came from. Yarn bombing is a type of graffiti art that involves creating crochet pieces to wrap or cover urban objects like benches, mailboxes, light poles, whatever. The appeal to this type of art is that it doesn't harm the object it's covering. So you can kind of see some of the yarn bombed items that I included here if you want to go back on your own time and watch the yarn bomb video that just kind of explains it in a little more detail. So here's a couple more things. Actually, I think that's a trash can. It was so cute. I was like, I had to involve that. All right, so the vocabulary. Crochet is a handcraft in which yarn is made up into patterned fabric by looping yarn with a hooked needle or a crochet hook. Slip knot is a knot that can be undone by pulling. The chain is the foundation stitch in crochet. Yarn bombing is a type of graffiti art that involves creating crochet pieces to wrap or cover urban objects. Frogging is once you've gotten so far in your crochet and you pull it out, so it's pulling stitches out and starting over, that's called frogging. And a crochet hook is the needle that you use for crocheting. Supplies that you'll need for this is yarn, crochet hook, the largest needle in your supply pack, and a pair of scissors. Steps for creating this. Begin watching the video, the how-to videos. You're going to start trying chaining along with the video. Make your chain at least 20 inches or 20 stitches long. 20 stitches long. Frog it and try it again. I want you to do that process at least 5 times. The idea is that you want your chain to be consistent all the way across. So you don't want some to be looser and some to be tighter because it just makes for a messy looking crocheted piece. So if you do it over and over and over again, you'll get the hang of it and you'll get better at it. And your chain will become more consistent. Number 3, try your first row along with the video that's included right here. That's going to show you how to one up on your chain. Number 4, once you have the hang of the process, then you're going to create something about the size of a sheet of copy paper, roughly. You're going to get extra credit on this assignment if you create something and then yarn bomb something with it. So keep that in mind if you get really good at it. Complete a critique sheet at the end. What I'm grading you on is 25 points for your chain, 25 points for your rows, 20 points for the length, 10 points for creativity, 10 points for craftsmanship, and 10 points for your critique. For submission, lay your crocheted piece out flat on the ground. Lay a slip of paper with your name on it next to the piece and photograph it. Upload it and your critique to the assignment on Google Classroom.